Hey everyone, it's Hannah from Daisy Farm Crafts, and in this video I want to show you how to make a skinny heart hot pad. And I am using Lily Sugar and Cream yarn, which is 100% cotton, and I'm using a size H 5mm crochet hook. So to get started, you want to make a base chain of 25. And that will make about an 8" by 8" hot pad. All right, and once you have your base chain, you're going to start in the third chain from the hook and work a half double crochet into each chain. So a half double crochet means you yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And after you work into that last chain, then you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. And now we're going to start working what my mom and I like to call wide half double crochet. So you're still working a half double crochet, you're just going to insert your hook into the space in between the posts of the row below instead of through the top of the stitch. So just look for those spaces in between the stitches of the previous row, and that's where you insert your hook for your half double crochet. And in this row, I'm going to start out by working 11 wide half double crochets. And then I'm going to bring in that white color to start the bottom of my heart. So once I get to that 11th stitch, I'm going to drop my pink yarn and finish the stitch by pulling through with white. And then I'm going to carry the pink along the top of my work. And this one's a little tricky because I'm just going to work 1 white stitch and then pull that white yarn to the front of my work and then finish the stitch with pink, because I only want 1 white stitch right here at the bottom tip of my heart. So then I'm just going to leave that white yarn, and then I'm just going to keep crocheting with pink to the end of the row. And I like to pull that white yarn forward before I keep going so that I can easily pick it up again when I get back to the next row and pull it up from the back, and then that'll make it look a little bit nicer. So when I get to the end of that row, I'm going to work my last stitch between the last stitch of the previous row and the turning chain, and then chain 2 and turn. Now in this next row, I'm going to keep building my white heart, and I'm going to do that just by increasing my white stitches by 1 on every row. So in this row, I'm going to work 2 white stitches, and they're going to be 1 on either side of that previous white stitch. So I'm just going to work a pink half double crochet into each space right up until I get to where I need to place my first white stitch. So I'm going to stop when I'm 2 stitches away from that white stitch, and then I'm going to finish by pulling through with white, and I'm just going to pull up that yarn that I left on the previous row. And again, I'm going to carry the pink along the top of my work and crochet over it as I work those 2 white stitches. And then on that second white stitch, I'm going to bring my white yarn to the front and then finish off the stitch by pulling through with my pink yarn. And then I'll just leave the white and then finish the row, just finishing off with those pink stitches. And then at the end of the row, I'll chain 2 and turn, and then just work back with pink again until I will increase my heart again with 3 white stitches. So again, I'm going to drop the pink, two stitches before I get to the white, and then pull through with white and carry that pink yarn. And now I'm going to work 1, 2, 3. And this is optional, but I do like to, when I get to the edge of the last stitch, I like to insert my hook so that it covers up all the white of the stitch of the previous row. You can see there was a little bit of the part of the stitch sticking out on the edge. So I like to just insert my hook around that little edge just to make my edges a little bit cleaner. But it's up to you whether or not you want to do that. So now I'm just going to keep following the same pattern. I'm going to finish off the row with pink wide half double crochets, and then I'll chain 2 and turn, and then increase my white stitches as I come back on the next row. And you want to just keep increasing your white stitches so that they keep forming an upside down triangle until you have 16 stitches in a row, and that's when you'll know that you're on your last row of all white stitches. And after you have 16 white stitches in a row, then that's where I'll show you how to start putting pink stitches in the middle so that it starts forming the middle of your heart, and then how to kind of curve the edges for the last few rows. So I also have a chart that you can follow if you want to pause right here and count along with the chart as you go to build all the way up to until you get to that row with the 16 white stitches across. And then again, I'll show you how to do the part where it curves in the middle and how to get the pink in the middle of those rows. All right, now that I've built the bottom of my heart, which is basically just a upside down triangle, I'm going to start making the top of my heart. So I'm still going to increase by 1 white stitch on this row. So I'm still going to stop when I get 2 stitches away from the white part. And I'm going to pull through with white. and then carry yarn as I work my white stitches, and I'm going to work 8 white stitches until I switch back to the pink in the middle. So on the 8th stitch, I'm going to stop and bring that white yarn forward and pull through with pink. And this time I'm actually going to carry the white yarn since it's still in the middle of my white section. So I'm going to carry the yarn and crochet over it, drop that pink behind, because I only want to work 1 pink stitch right now, and pull through with the white, and then start crocheting with the white yarn again, carrying my pink. And I'm going to work 8 white stitches on the other side. And then when I get to this last stitch, I kind of want to cover up that little edge and bring the white yarn forward, and then this is where I'll leave it so that I can pick it back up again in the next row. All right, so now that I'm working on building the top of my heart, I'm gonna focus more on the middle section, and I'm gonna increase the middle section by 1 each time until I have 4 pink stitches in the middle, and that will be the last row of the top of my heart. So if you want and to go back and look at that chart around the 9-minute mark, you can go back and pause. But essentially, I am just increasing the pink part, and now I'm decreasing the white parts on the sides. So now I'm going to work my pink stitch all the way up until I get to the white part, and then that's when I'll stop and pull through with the white yarn so that it's making a little curve by decreasing on the outsides instead of increasing. All right, and after you've finished the top of your heart, you can cut that white yarn and leave yourself a tail you can weave in later. And then you're going to chain 2 and turn and just work 1 more row of half double crochet in between the posts, just to finish off and match the beginning row at the bottom of the hot pad. And after you're finished with that last row, just work your last stitch, and you can chain 1 and pull up a long loop and cut it, and then you can tie off, and then you will want to weave in your ends with a tapestry needle. And there's not really any perfect way to weave in ends. You just kind of weave them in back and forth until they're feel pretty secure, and then you can just cut it right at the base of the yarn so that it is hidden in your hot pad. All right, so after I made my heart, I made just another square that was just plain. So the exact same size, chain 25 and do 22 rows to be the back of my hot pad. So once you've made that second square, you're going to line them up, and you want to have the heart facing toward you. And I am going to combine them by half double crocheting them together. So I insert my hook through both of the corners and pull up a loop and chain 2. And then I'm just going to half double crochet around the edges. And you just kind of want to make sure that you work a stitch on the sides. You want to have about 1 half double crochet per row. So you just kind of have to find the spaces that are on both squares that you can insert your hook into, and try to keep it at about 1 half double crochet per row on the sides. And then when you get to the corners, you're going to work 3 half double crochets into each corner. So here's that corner stitch, and I'm just going to work 3 half double crochets all into that same space. And then when I start working around the ends, I'm just going to keep working kind of in between the posts, and just work a half double crochet in between those stitches. All right, and when I finally reach the end, you can just slip stitch into that starting chain 2, and then kind of chain 1 and pull up a loop that you can cut and tie off. Pull that out. And then you can just weave in that end with a tapestry needle in the same way that you did before. And then you have a nice thick hot pad or pot holder with a cute little heart on it. Alright, well thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy making this super fun and easy hot pad. As usual, the full pattern, the full written pattern is on daisyfarmcrafts.com. And if you make this hot pad, please take a picture and come share with us on Facebook or Instagram. We would love to see. So thank you so much and have a great day.